Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Unique Not Different with me, Shamla. And this week, COVID 19 has been, I won't say raging, they did not say raging, but has been increasing lately. And one consideration that I have not seen persons taken generally is with the deaf community. So, with me today, I have Stephen Dhokram and I have his interpreter, Rian Houghton. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. So, Stephen actually approached me along with Rian to talk about, masking for the deaf community because if you notice, when they speak, they use mouth in terms of they read lips as well to help with the sign language. So, Stephen, my first question to put everything into perspective, why 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 did you approach me in terms of the masking to give I know why, but to give the general audience a perspective and an understanding with the mask and the deaf community?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Okay, so I would like to explain about the masks. It's very frustrating based on my experience. It was wow. So you need to have a little bit more consideration for the deaf community. Before, when I went to get to legal affairs to sort out birth certificates, on entering, I was asking the official, can you please remove your mask? They say, no, can't, let's write. I didn't feel too comfortable with that. What's the best way moving forward? I think it's fine. You can have a mask to travel and in public, that's okay. But when you arrive at any company or institution, when I get in, after I do temperature, I have no fever, and I enter, maybe if I ask, I'm deaf, can you please lower your mask so that I can see your lips so we can better communicate, and things are on an equal playing field that way. Some deaf people, they can't write,
Mm-hmm.
So there are certain words, there are certain big words. How do we communicate that with each other? Most people can't sign. No one knows sign language at all. And so hearing is easy, just hear beyond the mask, but it should be an equal playing field with the deaf and the hearing with each other.
Right.
So
mm-hmm.
After we enter, you take your temperature, have no fever or anything, you can lower your mask for us, especially because I'm deaf. A lot of people are saying, how is it fair if people are saying, it's not fair, you don't have a mask? We could probably do the clear shield on your face.
Right. I was going to ask that actually. With respect to the clear shield on the mask, I saw internationally and some locally they use the clear shield on the mask, right? And I think that is a proper way to go about it. And in terms of mass producing those masks, what are there anything being done locally to consider those type of masks?
Recently, there's a mask that has a clear shield in the front, a plastic shield in the front, so you could see the lips. But the deaf experience a lot of breathing problems. And on top of that, when they exhale, it forms a condensation on the plastic. And it's not safe for the deaf, So there hasn't been a good approach just yet. I don't know. I saw internationally in China, they still have the plastic clear masks, but we haven't had it yet, and I'm not too sure about it.
So has the association approached anyone to the Ministry of Health and different agencies to negotiate what can be done, especially in terms of the essential services like bank tellers, police officers, and so on, to train them and educate them in terms of, dealing with the deaf community and communicating with the deaf community?
That's a very good idea and it's very important. With the Ministry of Health, we could liaise with them and TAHI, and Trans-Tobago Association of Hearing Impaired, and we could communicate how we could find a safer way forward for the deaf community and communication. Because the Ministry of Health, they know nothing much about the deaf community. Most times, we're put aside and they focus a lot on the hearing. Hearing people, Right. They should always be into the deaf, right? But when it comes to my job, especially based on my experience, I have to pull down my mask and speak because it's my right as a deaf person to be able to communicate. So I need the ministry to give us an ear, give the deaf community an ear in Trinidad and Tobago. They forget about us a lot.
Right, and in terms of innovation, because I think this could be a time where the deaf community could actually come forward, and especially in terms of who have talent in terms of seamstresses and so on, right? Apart from the communication part and the masking and so on, has anyone within the deaf community presented themselves in terms of, okay, I can sew mask, or I can cater for the needs of the deaf and essential workers to form that inter-stimulus and a business?
Said yes, there are a few, but we can't find the best approach to design, the proper design for a mask, because the breathing has been a problem with the plastic on the mask,
Right.
you know? So we haven't found a good design just yet. Also, we tried asking some hearing people if they could come up with a proper design that's breathable, like a breathable mask for the deaf, but no hearing person has been able to come up with that either.
Okay, so going forward, what advice would you like to give persons in authority? What advice would you like to give essential workers, since you have, you know, a national platform here? What advice would you like to give, you know, these people in terms of the deaf and hearing impaired community in terms of communication?
Right. And I agree with the ministry. I agree with everything they were saying about the taking temperature on entering before. That's very important, taking a temperature on entering a building so you would know if a person has a fever or something as a symptom. But once we have acknowledged that I don't have a fever or anything like that, and I am a deaf person, and I talk to an official and I ask them, can you please put down your mask? Please let them put down their mask to communicate with me, and when they finish, they can put it back. It seems more respectful. Otherwise, it feels like you're canceling out the deaf community. You know, there are a lot of times when I go to an official, I ask, can you please put on your mask to communicate with me? And some say yes and some say no. So it's important. So that's the advice I'd like to give, you know. You already know my temperature. We're trying to do some safe things here. So I think that after that, that should be my advice.
Awesome. Stephen, I want to say thank you so much. Ryan, I want to always say thank you, you know, for facilitating me in terms of anytime I have someone who is deaf or hearing impaired, you're always willing to come on and be that facilitator for me and my guests as well. I want to say thank you to you both, and this was very educational, and I really hope that someone actually listens, and, you know, because we have a lot of productive persons who are hearing impaired and also deaf in Trinidad and Tobago. And with that being said, guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Unique Not Different on TGT Live Now Morning Show. Until next week, I want to say be good, do good. Bye, guys.